I don't know what hurt. I mean, it's exciting for me. I'm 23. I get to do it a whole bunch of times. I'm hurt more so for myself, for Mike. I came up short for Mike. Like I said, we tried last year. We couldn't get it. We tried again this year. We're going to try again next year. But hurting is a terrible word to use. I'm good, yeah.
Can you imagine Kobe Bryant?
No.
You know exactly where.
MJ? No.
That's why we have to unpack this. Because first we had the struggled comments the other day. We didn't struggle. And now you got blown out the building, sent home in 5. And the word you're using is, I'm excited.
Self-defense. I mean, he's trying to project, you know, I'm undaunted, I'm not bothered. And it doesn't come off well. But I'm not big on holding people's feet to the fire. That's in part, is his personality. If we thought that was going to get in the way of him going out and killing himself this summer to get better, then I'd have a problem with it. It's awkward, Molly.
Yeah.
But
you think it's his personality, meaning like he doesn't get rattled?
No, he doesn't. No, he wants to project that he doesn't get rattled. He was rattled. They rattled him. OKC's defense rattled him. They threw him off. Does he want to project that he's giving in, that he's caving into that? No, and said, therefore you get what you get.
Go ahead, Brian.
Brian, do you like or dislike those comments?
Okay, so first off, I was there for the entire press conference. That's one thing. And I'm not saying that it's out of context. He said what he said, okay? I want to say that Ant Edwards is still absolutely maturing. The way he presents himself and the way he plays on the court, he's still learning and getting better. He would admit that. I know that he can come off in a certain way. There's a lot more depth to Ant Edwards than he kind of sometimes projects, okay? And look, this is about a basketball game. I don't want to get too deep. I understand we're on a television program. You have to understand about Ant. He lost his mother and his grandmother, to the two core people in his life, to cancer less than 18 months apart from each other. And he got through as a teenager, and he got through it with good cheer, basketball, and video games, okay? And if you were at that whole press conference and you watched Ant's eyes watch Mike Conley talk with pain, and you saw those eyes, you would understand he was not being flippant. But I understand that presentation and that clip doesn't look great. And Michael, you're right. Kobe would feel a certain way. But when Kobe was 23, he wasn't really in this situation. It was a totally different thing. Ant has a lot of depth to him. There's a lot to his game. There's a lot that he's still learning and admitting he's learning. I do think he's got a pure heart. And he also said in this that he's going to work extremely hard this summer, that he's going to, try to learn from this and take something away, and he's going to set a new standard for himself, which we'll see. But his game is somebody who works hard. You can see the work in his game. He doesn't just get by on natural talent. There's a lot of work that he's put in. He made himself into a great three-point shooter, for example. So I will defend him a little bit away from this clip, but I understand that if you just looked at that, it would look a certain way.
No, I appreciate the context because I think it's imperative to the conversation.
I dislike the comments, but I understand what both Mike and Brian are speaking about. I think it's bigger, though. I think this is a defining moment for him. I've spent a lot of time with a lot of scouts, a lot of GMs, a lot of presidents of teams, a lot of head coaches of NBA teams and college teams. And I've heard a lot of coaches talk about young people that have experienced the types of losses that Anthony Edwards has with his mom and with his grandma in a short period of time. It gives you perspective on when you lose games and the world is like, the world is burning down. You're like, actually, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. Now, it's easy to settle into that frame of mind and not be something that consistently you do for the rest of your life. But there are some people who are able to kick that into the next year and compartmentalize that, but they have to learn that through experience. And I think this was one of those experiential moments when watching Mike Conley go through the pain and the struggle. I think Ant's always been aware of what comes along with that pain, but he saw it within a teammate and somebody that he admires. And it's interesting, that moment of clarity, I think, is something that, and Michael, you and I talked about this, not just working hard, but I think working smarter is something we're going to see Anthony Edwards do a lot this summer. And I think if his basketball IQ increases, combined with the work ethic he already has, I think we get a chance to see the best iteration of him next year. His vet, think about these two vets that these two dual sides had. One vet was CP3, working smarter for SGA, right? And working smarter too, right? Scheming everything. I'm not saying this next person is not smarter or working harder, but that's for SGA in his maturation process, 3 years removed from where Anthony Edwards is right now. And have Patrick Beverley, gritty, in your face, work hard, grind it out, scheming wise too. But like that level of basketball IQ will continue to progress for him now since he's had that moment. I think it's a moment of clarity for him.
So there's got to be some organizational help.
Yes.
And willingness to accept it.
Yes.
And it's interesting. You point out Chris Paul and Devin Booker benefited from Chris. Wemby benefited and may still yet benefit even more. And so the veteran presence, Jay Will, is hugely important. This summer, we see people still go to folks like Hakeem Olajuwon to work on things over the summer. And then you need the organizational help as well. I hope that Ant has the appetite for that. It seems like, and you know him pretty well,
does.
that it seems he has.
Yeah.
Wendy, what did the blowout say to you about Ant Edwards?
Said to me that the Thunder have his number, and he's now got to figure out how to deal with that. It might be something that they have to address with their roster because the Thunder were able to double and even sometimes triple team him and not super worry about it. There were moments where they got burned, but he now has to recognize, and I think he does. Again, I know that he comes off flippant, but I think Ant's a pretty smart guy. And I think Ant understands now that he is going to have to worry about how to deal with this Thunder team going forward. And the way the Thunder guarded him is now the blueprint of how teams are going to guard him going forward. So, I've seen great players do this. I mean, like this happened with Dame Lillard. One of the reasons why he became Logo Lillard was because he realized the way to get his shot off at a guy of his size was he had to back up. And so Ant is going to realize he's going to have to make adjustments to his game, and they're going to have to realize they have to make maybe adjustments to this roster. So, look, I am absolutely a big believer in Ant Edwards' future. This series did not change that. He underwhelmed in this series. You would like to have seen him and the Wolves put up a better fight, no doubt about it. But my opinion on Ant doesn't change at all based on this series or based on the comments that he made after the last couple games.
You guys do me a favor, and I know sometimes this is a debate show and we don't really get into the granular details of basketball, but just for 1 second, indulge me. Because if you keep putting up those highlights in a side-by-side box, we're going to see something that I think it talks about the next iteration of Ant. In every play that you're going to see, it's him at the top of the key, him trying to dance off the dribble, him trying to take long threes. His game needs to go to the Kobe Bryant stage, the Michael Jordan stage. If Anthony Edwards learns how to play with his back to the basket,
Post play.
the game will be over